Mattys Candles are delighted to introduce their new eco candles that are their own blend of pure coconut and rapeseed wax. Specially formulated to be sustainable, renewable and free from genetic modifications. The coconut wax is made from the meat of the coconut. The rapeseed is produced from the seed of the flower taken from the UK and Europe under strict guidelines, free from bee-harming pesticides. Coconut wax produces a creamier candle finish, doesn't frost like soy, and has a stronger scent throw due to its low melting temperature. As a progressive candle maker, we make changes as they become available. Although coconut wax is more expensive, our buying power means the cost is virtually the same to the consumer. The average mature coconut plant will yield approximately 400 coconuts a year, and almost every one of those coconuts will be picked by hand. The trees are stubbornly resistant to cooperating with machinery, so the carbon footprint is also significantly reduced. Furthermore, around 95% of coconut growers are smallholders, so you're supporting the small indigenous farmer. Rapeseed is in abundance in the UK and Europe, and this supports our sustainability ethos. The great news for bees is that in 2018, countries across the EU and UK voted in favour of a ban on bee-harming neonicotinoids on all outdoor crops.
Soy wax. Now, soy wax is obviously a vegetable. It was grown and still is grown in America, but it now contributes to deforestation, which means not only rainforests and other sorts of forests are being ripped down for the produce of soy, but it also increases the carbon footprint. There are very few companies in the UK right now making candles from purely coconut and rapeseed wax. I'll explain the two components. Coconut is made from the flesh of the coconut. The coconut is then hydrogenated, which is a process of extracting the fat from the coconut. That coconut comes from a coconut tree, and that tree will always be in the field. No one's going to rip the tree down, so we can therefore call it sustainable. There are no fields or forests which have to be cleared for the coconuts because they're in plentiful supply all over the world. The other good thing about it is coconut fields are usually owned by small, what we call indigenous farmers. So you're not supporting the large corporate, you're supporting the small indigenous farmer who will get all the money from the coconuts that are sold. Coconut fat on its own is very, very soft. If you held it in your hand, it would melt. So we had something called rapeseed wax. And as you drive up and down the M1 in the UK, you'll see yellow fields either side. That is a rapeseed field. Again, from the seed of the rapeseed, we extract the fat using the hydrogenation process. That and the coconut wax together makes the wax that we now use. We're still using a little bit of soy in the massage candles that we do, and this is perhaps down to cost, but we will make a decision in the not too distant future whether we're going to continue doing massage candles because they still have soy wax in there. So our wax candles and our melts are palm free, which is important. They are soy free, paraffin free, and they are not affected by any GMO or genetically modified chemicals or processes. And the the fields that we have the rapeseed growing don't have any bee-harming pesticides. So it's free from, as Matthew just said there, what we call neonicotinoids. So the rapeseed fields and the coconut fields, there was an EU directive, again, about 3 years ago, which the UK signed into, which means that we no longer have bee-harming pesticides on rapeseed fields. So rapeseed and coconut, the wax that we use is completely 110% sustainable, completely kind to the environment. Because the wax and the rapeseed is now bought in from Europe and the UK, the carbon footprint is a lot lower. Soy is now grown in China and America, and the carbon footprint is very high. So that's the background on the wax that we use.
Entrepreneur of the Year is Mattys Smith.
Now, this is, well, describe this, because you know that one.
It's chocolate orange, so basically it smells like a company's chocolate orange.
And it does. Smell it, honestly, it does. It does. Can you imagine I'm in a bath and having that on and it smells of chocolate? Yeah, smell it. It does smell of chocolate, honestly. Smell it. It does, doesn't it? Chocolate orange. And you are the founder of these. What other sort of smells do you put into candles?
We do perfume scents, we do sweet scents, we do fruity scents.
And what's the inspiration behind setting up a candle company like this?
I've always liked candles, basically, and I got a candle kit for my birthday. And then I spoke to family and they was like...
I'm overwhelmed, I just can't believe this happened. I was talking to the chairman and he said, you don't want to know how many people have applied. I was like, how many people? He said 3,000. I was like, I wasn't nervous before, I'm nervous now. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing to win the award. I think anybody who wants to do their own small business should just go for it. I mean, we thought candles would kick off so well. This is a page from our digital brochure. We have all the scents with descriptions inside. Your reseller will give you the link in the comments at the end. We do a few different types of melt burners. This one's made from Himalayan salt and has a glass dish. The Himalayan salt lamps are said to promote a good night's sleep. If you have children who insist on having a light on, this is a great alternative. £3 you can customise the lid of any candle with over 50 scents to choose from. We have just launched our new room mist. Each bottle is made of aluminium with a pewter badge to the front. We fill each spray with 90 millilitres of room perfume. The brochure is divided into 6 sections. Our melts are wrapped in recycled card and our tins are made from aluminium.
So while we're just talking, I'm just going to go to the products in a bit more depth. A lot of you have joined and asked me quite a few questions. It's me that normally answers the questions online, but if you've got any questions, then please ask away. So Vanessa's asking, are the scents okay for asthma sufferers? We get asked a lot about medical questions and also questions to do with pets. We cannot give you an assurance because we're not medically trained and we're certainly not veterinarians. So for us to say it's fine for asthma sufferers would be incorrect, because there are probably about 20 to 30 different components which make up one. Oils that we use are man-made specifically for burning, for putting in soaps, for putting in baths. They're fine if they come in contact with your skin. Some of them can produce allergies depending on how sensitive your skin is. But what we say is essential oils are very expensive. If you wanted an orange essential oil candle, that would cost you about £50 if we put 10% of essential oil in there. Because it's a man-made synthetic oil, it's cheaper, and that's why you can. Synthetic oils are safer. We've got the ingredients of all what we put in the tin on the bottom, and that's the makeup. That's the question between essential oils and synthetic oils. I'll also say that tea tree oil is poisonous to cats and dogs. It's made in Hull, the actual tin itself. The labels are also made in the UK. Some of them come from Ireland. They are bleach free, and it's on what we call craft paper. Everything's printed by hand. The labels are stuck on by hand, and then inside you've obviously got the wax. The longer you leave the candle after it's made, and everything you buy from us will be made within the last 1 or 2 months, there's something called curing, C-U-R-I-N-G. When a candle cures, the oil mixes with the wax and the scent actually builds inside. So people say, well, it'll still be okay in a year. It'll be better in a year than it is now. We put 180 grams of wax inside a tin, which weighs about 70 grams. So the net weight of your candle tin is 180 grams. The overall weight of the candle is probably about 257. The tins are aluminium wax and rapeseed wax in the inside. The wick is a cotton wick and it's free from zinc and lead. The wax, this is quite important. People say, how long do your candles last for? Well, the wax will melt in this candle tin at 3.9 grams per hour. If you divide that into the total amount of net weight of the wax, it will probably last for about 40 hours. Burn for 2 hours and then blow it out. We say blow it out because you'll find the top inch will then be oil because it will melt very quickly. Once you've blown it out, it'll then act. The diffusers are different to everybody else. Most people use a Wego oil or a carrier oil in a diffuser, and these are the ones that you find in Lidl and Homebase and DIY stores, and they'll be very cheap, but they'll only last for 2 or 3 days. So it only lasts for 2 or 3 days. Instead of using a carrier oil in our diffusers, do you want to open it for us? We use perfumer's alcohol. Now, the perfumer's alcohol is the exact same alcohol that you find when you use a perfume or an aftershave. It's in a 100 milliliter tin, CLP information on the bottom. The reason we use perfumer's alcohol and not a carrier oil is because the oil, when you put them in a reed, it will block and it will clog. The oil stays there and the scent evaporates. What the perfumer's alcohol does in difference is it releases the scent into the air. By releasing it into the air, the reed doesn't become clogged. And if you use that in conjunction with the fibre reeds, which come with every tin, this is the same material, you can probably just about see that you get inside a felt tip pen. And that's designed to draw the scent up into the reed and then out into the room. So using a diffuser with perfumer's alcohol is a lot superior, it's a lot better, the scent will be a lot stronger than what it would be.
Welcome to the next Mattys candle scent release.
Coming to you all the way from India, we are delighted to announce the new scent which is called Nacham.
This traditional Indian scent has notes of magnolia, sandalwood and frangipani.
You're alright if it's in your coolest room away from direct sunlight. Again, it's obviously not going to be as harsh as if you was outdoors on a market. But don't put it next to a boiler or anything like that. I think it should be okay, to be fair.
Gillian, are electric warmers better? We've used an electric warmer, and because the bowl on an electric warmer is quite wide, the wax covers it in a wide pool. And I think it evaporates quicker. Because this is in a closer area, the wax doesn't heat up as quick as what it does an electric warmer. Now, I'm sure somebody will disagree with me. That's just my personal opinion. I would never use an electric warmer because I like to see the flame. And it's just nice to have the flame in the background. If I wanted something electric, I'd probably just get a plug-in haze or something and stick it in my wall. So I like to see the wax melt.
There's no complaints about electric warmers. I mean, it's safer if you've got kids and animals with long tails, I suppose, running around. But no problems at all. Should be absolutely fine.
what to say. We have a we do. I just know I'm going to do it. If you insist on having children. We do a few different types of salt burners. This one's made from Himalayan salt, which has a glass dish.
It's melt burner, not salt burner.
Can't do it. I'm such a brat. Salt.